I like to give compliments. Compliment with an I versus compliment with an E. Imagine the voice of a movie trailer announcer. 2 words, 1 pronunciation. In a world where choosing the right word can mean life or death, Squiggly must make a decision, I or E. Okay, you can stop imagining the corny voice now. Fortunately for Squiggly, I have a great memory trick for remembering the difference between compliment with an I and compliment with an E. A compliment with an I is a word of praise, so just remember the sentence, I like to give compliments. Compliment with an E means that something pairs well with something else. You can remember the meaning by thinking things that complement each other often complete each other, and complement and complete both have E's in them. Things that complement each other often complete each other. It's deceptively inflammable, words that should be banned. If you write that a crossword puzzle is deceptively easy, does that mean it's easy or hard? The answer is that using the word deceptively can lead to confusion, and the best approach is to rewrite the sentence. There's a similar story for the word inflammable. Some people think it means easy to burn, and other people think it means resistant to burning. It's best to avoid it altogether. People fear things that are different. Different from versus different than. Different from is preferred to different than. I remember this by remembering that different has 2 F's and only 1 T, so the best choice between than and from is the one that starts with F. Squiggly knew he was different from the other snails. In other words, get it right. IE versus EG. Misusing IE and EG is one of the top 5 mistakes I used to see when editing technical documents. People are so mixed up and so certain in their confusion that I would get backdrafts from clients where they had actually crossed out the right abbreviation and replaced it with the wrong one. I just had to laugh. IE and EG are both abbreviations for Latin terms. IE stands for id est and means that is. EG stands for exempli gratia, which means roughly for example. Great Latin, you're probably thinking. How am I supposed to remember that? But by now, I'm sure you know that I'm not going to ask you to remember Latin. I'm going to give you a memory trick. So here's how I remember the difference. Forget about IE standing for that is. From now on, to you, IE, which starts with an I, means in other words, and EG, which starts with an E, means for example. Starts with an I equals in other words. Starts with an E equals example. A few listeners have also written in to say they remember the difference between IE and EG by imagining that IE means in essence, and noting that EG sounds like egg, as in example, and those are good memory tricks too. So now that you have a few tricks for remembering what the abbreviations mean, let's think about how to use them in a sentence. EG means for example, so you use it to introduce an example. Aardvark likes card games, e.g., bridge and crazy eights. Squiggly visited Ivy League colleges, e.g., Harvard and Yale. Because I used e.g., you know I've provided a list of examples of card games that Aardvark likes and colleges Squiggly visited. It's not a definitive list of all card games Aardvark likes or colleges Squiggly visited. It's just a few examples. On the other hand, IE means in other words, so you use it to introduce a further clarification. Aardvark likes to play cards, i.e., bridge and crazy eights. Squiggly visited Ivy League colleges, i.e., Harvard and Yale. Because I used IE, which introduces a clarification, you know that these are the only 2 card games Aardvark enjoys and the only 2 colleges Squiggly visited. Here are 2 more examples. Squiggly loves watching old cartoons, e.g., DuckTales and Tugboat Mickey. The words following e.g. are examples, so you know that they are just some of the old cartoons Squiggly enjoys. Squiggly loves watching Donald Duck's nephews, i.e., Huey, Dewey, and Louie. The words following i.e. provide clarification. They tell you the names of Donald Duck's 3 nephews. An important point is that if I failed and you're still confused about when to use each abbreviation, you can always just write out the words, for example, or in other words. There's no rule that says you have to use the abbreviations. Here are a few other things about IE and EG. Don't italicize them. Even though they're abbreviations for Latin words, they've been used for so long that they're considered a standard part of the English language. Also remember that they're abbreviations and there's always a period after each letter. Also, I always put a comma after IE and EG. The comma would come after the second period, for example, I period, E period, comma. I've noticed that my spell checker always freaks out and wants me to remove the comma, but 5 out of 6 style guides recommend using the comma. Finally, I tend to reserve IE and EG to introduce parenthetical statements, but it's also perfectly fine to use IE and EG in other ways. You can put a comma before them, or if you use them to introduce a main clause that follows another main clause, you can put a semicolon before them. You can even put an em dash before IE and EG if you're using them to introduce something dramatic. They're just abbreviations for words, so you can use them in any way you'd use the words in essence or for example. I want each of you to win. Each versus every. Each and every mean the same thing and are considered singular nouns, so they take singular verbs. Note the singular verbs in the following examples. If you want to get technical, you can use each to emphasize the individual items or people. Each car is handled with care, and every to emphasize the larger group. Every car should use hybrid technology. People often say each and every for emphasis, but it's redundant.